What is good, guys? This is just going to be a quick trade breakdown of the trade that I took today. So let's get straight into it. If you have watched my previous videos, you will know that when the EMAs are bullish and you get a swing point created, you want to trade the following day for a long position. If we look at what's happened here, it is a little bit confusing in the way that we took out this high here. Okay, so this was quite a significant high in my opinion. We swept it out where the EMAs were bullish, and then we had a bearish day. Okay, but as you can see, they just start consolidating. We've left equal lows at the low, which could be a target to go to as well. But if we're just following the process that I use, then we'll know that once the EMAs are crossed over, all we look for is a swing point to get created, and then look to trade the following days. So that's exactly what happened on Friday. The swing point was created where we took out Thursday's low and closed back within the range, and even better than that, we closed over the body of the candle. Okay, so this body closed over the body of the previous candle. So you can expect the next day to be an expansion, which is what happened yesterday, and then today another expansion. Alright, so we will cover exactly that. So then scaling down to the 15 minute, first of all, what I'll do though is I always mark out, as you can see here, this is the 50% of the previous candle. So I want us to basically respect it. Not once we start trading a bit lower from it, we're not really interested in it. Okay, but as you can see, we opened here. Okay, so the candle actually opened down here. So the candle yesterday closed here, and then we opened up a bit. So we had a little gap to open up, which was below the 50% here. So it wasn't the best one to draw 50% out. But again, we're still going to be looking for buys due to yesterday was long, and today we're looking for the same kind of move. So scaling on to the 15-minute time frame, let's go over what I seen. Ignore this trade. This is just a little scalp I took yesterday, because I knew that we weren't going to get at this time in the day. I knew that the reversal wasn't going to happen, so I was looking for it to come down a little bit lower. Yeah, so we won't cover that trade for now, but we can get rid of this and this. Okay, so looking at today, where we opened the day, so it's here. So what happened was we opened and we didn't sweep underneath the low. Okay, so again, Asia happens, and then we're not looking to long above that because we've got this low here that has not been traded below. So again, if you want to have an expansion day on the daily, you want to have an open, you want to trade below the open, then you want to make the body, and then you want to close near it. Okay, so if we, I think I'm saying so quite often, so I'll try and stop that. But again, when we open here, price doesn't trade lower. Okay, so we don't get the powder 3 created, so we're going to expect that to happen. Alright, then when that happens at 2:45, we then get the sweep below the daily open, and then we get a change in the state of delivery. Okay, once we get the change in the state of delivery, we can then be seeking for longs, thinking that this is going to be the low of the day. Alright, if we rewind it back to here, let's go over what happened. Oh, never seen that before, didn't know when it started doing that, but we get the change in the state of delivery. Looking at the 4 hour, let's turn this off because I don't really use the 1 hour as much anymore. Looking at the 4 hour, what do we see? We'd be looking for an expansion on the 4 hour candle. Okay, so this 4 hour candle takes out this no wick low, alright, and then we start trading higher. Okay, so you can either, if you don't have order flow and you don't trade footprint, you can just take along here, stop below the low, and target the 2%. And again, we trade lower, but we don't take out the low. Why? Because this low causes a change in the state of delivery, so there's no need for this low to go. Then we get a new 4 hour candle open, and what happens is we then start pushing higher. Alright, but for me, I didn't enter in here. We'll cover it, we'll go over the footprint of what I've seen in here, but my entry was in here. Okay, so yes, that just shows you don't need to catch the very low of the day. You can catch a continuation trade with the same criteria. Alright, so that was the trade today, just a long trade, pretty simple. just caught a nice little 2 hour. Now let's jump over to the footprint and we can discuss what I seen on the footprint chart. So looking at the footprint, we are on crude, which is here. We'll go back to 2:45 AM and we'll cover this morning first before we start doing the rest of the day. And that was this low here. 2:45, yeah, so we're covering this low here. Again, let's look, if you have watched the previous videos that I always do, why would I not take a long here? Very simple. Alright, think about it for a quick moment and think about our tier list, what we need to look for, and you will clearly see that this just doesn't make any sort of tier. Okay, so we don't have trap sale, well, we have one trap seller down here, we don't have any aggressive buyers, we don't have it under 100 at this very low, and yeah, there's basically nothing here for us to take a trade. So there was no trade here, so this 2:45 trade was nothing. Okay, we then push up and we make a pullback. Now on this pullback, my thinking was, because we've got a large block down here, 120 orders, that shows that the auction isn't finished. Okay, so there's still sellers wanting to are happy to sell low prices. So in my opinion, even though we got the 15-minute change in the state of delivery, I still thought we might have wicked down and took the low out. Okay, but if I'm just following the candles, I should have got on this trade. Alright, but I never, just because I thought we were going to come down and take the low. It was an unfinished auction with a blocky order at the low, so I believed that we were going to come down once more. That did not happen, and I missed out on a very, very good trade. But it is what it is. I wasn't 100% on the trade, so let's go over it. If we didn't get a double trade, a double candle trade entry here, I would have took the trade. Alright, it's just because we got the double candle entry, it's not as good for me. I prefer seeing just one candle doing both of it. Alright, but nevertheless it is still valid. So let's go over what we see at the lows. We've got trap sellers, we've got aggressive buyers, we've got under 100. Alright, we don't have any imbalance at the low, but what have we got? We've got a 3 out of 4 high. Okay, so that qualifies us to be able to take the trade, and all we need to do is have a tier 2 within that. Alright, so have we got a tier 2? We do. We've got a delta divergence. So as you can see at the bottom here, the delta is negative and the candle closes bullish. Alright, so that is what we get. So it was a valid trade, but I didn't take it. Okay, just to the fact that I thought this was going to get swept, and I thought we were going to keep going higher after that, but we never got it, and as you can see we start pushing higher. And I just wanted to cover one thing about continuations, how you can get involved in continuations. All you need to do is look at where the buyers were active, the large block of orders where the buyers are active, and what happens most of the time is price will come back and test that area and then continue. Alright, and that's exactly what's happened here. Our box, this is our block of orders here, the 3 orders, price comes back in, taps it, pushes higher. What happens again? This is our block of orders. Let's just use this. Price comes back in and taps it, and then we push higher. Alright, then we get a little bit of push down. Again, we get 192 sellers at the low here, so to me this is still an area where price might want to come back and take. Then price starts pushing higher again. What's happening? We are respecting the block of orders each step. Okay, and as you can see we don't close below it, we just come down, wick it, test it, and then the buyers are there active again, start pushing price higher. Again here, buyers defending the position, candle comes down, taps into the previous buyers, we defend it and push higher. What happens again? Our buyers sitting here, price comes back down, buyers defend the position, push price higher. Alright, then we start consolidating a little bit. What time is this at? 10 AM. So this is getting close to where I get my entry position. Alright. Now, my entry position is a bit risky, but again, we're consolidating. We then get the low pushed down with aggression on the sellers. Alright, and this was where I entered. Alright. So, again, I said so, but it is what it is. How did I enter this position here? So let's look at what we get as the candle confirmation. So we get the pullback, and all I'm looking for is basically our tier again. So do we get trap sellers? We do. Do we get aggressive buyers? We do. Do we have under 100? We don't. And do we have an imbalance? We don't. Okay, so I broke my rules, and it's as simple as that. Today I broke my rules. I shouldn't have took this trade. I took the trade, and I shouldn't have taken it. Okay, I had a 2 out of 4 candle, which to me does not qualify as a good enough candle to take. Okay, I shouldn't have took this trade. When price started going down here, I was actually getting a bit emotional, thinking I was getting a bit angry with myself, thinking this is going to stop me out, and it's a trade that I should never have taken. That was what was going through my head. Now, what I did was I knew it was a 2 out of 4 candle, and what I did was I tried to justify it. Alright, how did I try and justify it? Basically, I tried to use tier 2s to justify it. And if we look at the tier 2s, we have a delta divergence, and we have a bullish imbalance within the upper half of the candle. Okay, so we had 2 tier 2s and 2 tier 1s. So that's what I tried to say to myself to justify it, because I was thinking that if I flip back over to here, I tried to justify it. So this is where I entered, and I said to myself, I want to see this previous day high go now. So I tried to justify the trade because I was confident in where the bias was going, where the daily candle was heading. That is why I basically took that trade, but I shouldn't have taken it. Okay, because we'd also already taken out this high, was already taken out, and this high was already taken out. So there was a good chance that price could just expand and start trading lower. Alright, and take out these little swings down here. So in a way it was lucky, but I tried to justify it by my bias, and still seen a 2. The main things that you want to see in a footprint chart for me, oh sorry, I need to change back screen, is seeing the trap sellers and the trap buyers. Okay, that is like the main thing. If there's, you can have a 3 out of 4 high, right, but if one of these 2 things are missing, I'm not taking the trade regardless. So if you don't get aggressive buyers showing up, I'm not taking the trade. If you don't get trap sellers, I'm not taking the trade. So that's like 1 and 2. If you had to rank the 4 bits of criteria within a tier 1 candle, that would be 1 and 2. Okay, 1 would be probably aggressive traders in the direction. 2 would be the trap. Okay, if I don't have any of them, there's no trade anyway. So because I seen 2 of them, I thought I'm okay to take the trade. Alright, so again, I did break my rules due to the fact that it was a 2 out of 4 high, and then I tried to confirm it with 2 tier 2s. Alright, so you can't, it was like you would call it like a C setup. There's a good risk that it's going to go and stop you out, but there's also, because of the bias overall, there's still a chance of it going higher. And that's exactly what happened. It did go higher, and where you would enter, say if you had something like this, what I'd like to cover is how would you enter that. Okay, for me, well, you know that I entered it like this, but usually I would ignore that and just wait for a better confirmation, and the better confirmation would come where we got a new 4 out of 4 high, or not high, candle. Okay, so as price goes on, we can still see aggressive buyers coming in here. Then what happens in the next candle? We trade lower, we get trap sellers, we get aggressive buyers showing up. I still wouldn't trade this one because it's still only a 2 out of 4 high, because I still got 116 sellers shown at the low. Then I'll just wait for this candle. Okay, so this candle, I would enter the trade here. So it would be on the open of this candle, and I would still have caught a little bit of the move. Alright, but it wouldn't be as high probability. Alright, so let's look at this candle. What do we get? We get a bullish imbalance in the low, we get trapped traders, we get under 100, we get aggressive buyers. Okay, and if we want to count in tier 2s, we've got a POC near the low of the candle, we've got bullish imbalances in the upper half of the candle. So it was a good candle to get involved in the long run. You could have caught yourself a little bit of the move. But again, I get in down here just due to the fact that I seen the trap and then I seen the aggressive buyers coming in pretty strong with a bullish imbalance at the very high. So yeah, I just wanted to break that trade down. It wasn't a very textbook trade. Personally, if you're following me, I wouldn't advise you to take this trade at all. Just take candles that are 3 out of 4 or 4 out of 4. Again, if we've got a 3 out of 4, you need a tier 2. But again, I would only take these kind of trades if you're very confident in the bias, as in on the daily time frame where you think the bias is going to go. Okay, you wouldn't just take it without that. So that was kind of the breakdown I just wanted to go over for crude today. I hope that makes a lot of sense for you. Now if you have a look at what's happening now, we just push up and then we start trading lower. 143 at the high, then there's no buyers following that up. Then we start melting lower, bearish imbalances, aggressive sellers at the lows, trap buyers, and what happens, price starts trading lower, and then we're just kind of, look at the volume now, we've lost so much volume, there's not much else to be doing. Okay, so that was the trade that I wanted to just to break down. Just to, again, if you're just starting to get into it, into footprint, just get 3 out of 4 or 4 out of 4 candles, don't bother with the 2 out of 4. I tried to justify it again like I said, but it's not needed. And yeah, that was basically the trade. So the trade was entered in here. Let's go over the level that I got in. It's actually 175. 61.75, and my stop loss was below the low. So this is why it's so good, because you can get the tightest of stop losses when you enter this reversal candle. That is a trade, and I get out at this high here. So it was a 2.5% trade, and that was the breakdown that I wanted to go over. So if anyone is struggling, I hope this is a quite good breakdown to see, because I did break the rules and it still played out, but it can go the other way as well. Like I said, when I seen that trade coming down here, nearly stopped me out. I was getting annoyed with myself. So yeah, just follow your plan, stick to your rules, and have a good one, guys. That is everything I wanted to cover in a bit.